1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is very nice because if I'm drinking a coffee and you ask me a question, what time, how much? Oh, 6, yes. 6 like this while you have a baby or a beer or a coffee or too lazy to go like this. It's very nice to do it on one hand. 6 in Chinese actually means cool. So if you want to say, oh, cool, you say 6, Leo. In Chinese, it's a tonal language, which I have in a different part, but lots of words sound very, very similar with each other. So one of the most famous ones, for, se, it sounds very close with a different word, se, which means death. So if someone's talking very fast or very lazy, or like me where my ear is not too good, it's very easy to mix the Chinese word for and for death. So this is also very famous in apartment buildings, and it is true. You go to the elevator, there is no 4th floor. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, because no one wants to live on death floor. If you think of this translation, it sounds so close. There's lots of other ones. 6 is Leo, Leo, Leo. This means cool, 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 awesome. 8 means rich or lucky. It's very common for Chinese people when they take pictures, they take it like this, and it's sexy, it's cool, because this means I'm rich, I'm lucky, I'm fortunate. Again, the word ba sounds very similar with ba, which means rich. So the words are very, very easy to mix. Then there are some longer ones, like wu ise, I want to die, sounds very similar. Wu er ling, this means I love you. Chinese people do not say this actually, I will talk about it later. So you just never hear this, and it's not said in their culture, but if they are going to say I love you to someone, they will probably say 520, not I love you. It's too personal, too close. But 520, maybe they will say. Bye-bye, ba-ba, maybe you can kind of hear a close similarity. 2 is stupid, R. And this is really, really like fighting words. If you want to get in a fight with someone, the worst one is R by Wu, which this is something along you're so stupid you drink bottles of shit, is the translation across this. Sanba, this is a very bad word for women. And Isan, Isa, I love forever. Forever love. This is something you would say for children. And there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. It made it very difficult for me living in China. And constantly people are saying in Chinese, oh, blah, 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 1521, blah, 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 555, blah, 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 38, blah, blah, blah. And it was very, very difficult to learn the thousands, and there's always new ones coming up. So Chinese people really, really love numbers. You can take numbers, and Chinese people will actually spend lots and lots of money, more so than here, actually on their phone number. This is very, very big money. If you could imagine, my phone number actually had lots of 4s in it. If you could imagine, it was very, very cheap. It was like $5 US for my phone number, which was 44, 4. Compared to a rich businessman, he would spend lots of money, in lots, thousands and thousands of US dollars for a phone number that's maybe 666-8, 666-8. And if you would translate this, it means cool, awesome, cool, rich, cool, cool, cool. That's a nice way to make business, friends, girlfriend. You want my number? Cool, 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 awesome, rich, cool. So they really love it. It's also famous for the license plates on cars. You really know someone is rich when their license plate on the car is 6666666. You know they're really, really rich. What could be more important to a Chinese person? And we came across 3 things, and it's not a joke. It's really serious. The first one is money. Chinese people are so crazy about money, I can't even begin to talk about how much love they have for money, how incredibly important in their culture. If you want to get married, or if you want to make your mother proud or your grandfather proud, you must make a lot of money. And in Chinese culture, it's very common to say, hello, what's your name? How much money do you make? How expensive was your car? How much was this shirt? There's a continuous talk about money, which I thought was quite nice because you learn about business, and in America we do not talk about money, we do not talk about business, which I agree with, and it has a good point, but everyone in China from a very young age is groomed to understand that money is important, business is important, and there's a lot of good things you can do with money, helping your family. The whole family lives together in China if it's a boy, okay? So if you have a baby boy, that means when you are old, you will live with your baby boy. So a normal Chinese apartment will have grandma and grandpa, the mom and dad, and 1 or 2 babies and a dog. This is normal for every apartment in China, but it's only with the boy. If you have a girl, this means that your girl will grow up, she will marry into a different family, she will have a different family name, family culture, and you lose her. And in Chinese, they actually say if you have a daughter, you lose her. They have no real security system. There's no pension, there's no social security, there's no money from the government. This is one of the reasons why Chinese people love boys so much. Because if you have a boy, this means that when you're old, you have a place to live. They will give you food, they will give you a place to live, they will even give you money every month, allowance for a cappuccino or rice. It's real insurance for when you're old. You cannot rely on your job, you cannot rely on the government. It does not exist. So this makes it that boys are so important, and the family all ties to this. The grandma and grandpa will live with mom and dad, and the children. Grandma and grandpa will always live together, and their official job is to take care of the grandchildren. And it's really wonderful, actually. Every child in China has a grandma and a grandpa very close from morning to night. They cook all the meals at home together, they have Chinese culture, Chinese dancing, learn Kung Fu maybe if grandpa knows. So the grandparents' job is to take care of the child, walk them to school, pick them up from kindergarten. At the park on Saturdays, millions of children and 2 million grandmas and grandpas all together. And mom and dad, as you could imagine, they work like crazy and have lots of overtime. They have the one-child policy. You can only have one child. And if you had another child, so that started in the 70s. And just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they actually stopped this and they made the 2-child policy. Now you can have 2 children. A big reason why they changed the law actually is they realized there's not enough babies to work, to pay taxes, and to support the country. It's a similar problem in Japan, so they decided, we'll make 2-baby policy, we'll have more babies, balance, but we didn't actually have much more babies in China actually. It continued to drop. So this is true, it was 1-child policy, and very scary actually until now. Lots of people would ask, the government only says 1 baby, yes? Well, what happens if you have 2 babies? Really sad that the government will give you 2 choices. The first is you can have a forced abortion. You can go to the hospital and you can kill the baby with the help of the hospital 30 weeks, 35 weeks, 38 weeks. They don't care. They will help you kill the baby. In America, we actually have some states where you can have abortion, but it's a very strict line. Not after 6 weeks or 8 weeks. I'm not sure, but it's very early. In China, you have the choice to have the government help you with the abortion, or you can have the baby, okay, but the baby will not get an identification number. So they will not get a birth certificate, no identification number, no passport, no ID. And in China, this is terrible because if you want to go anywhere or do anything, you need this number. My name is Taylor, number do.
Is it possible to buy?
Yeah. You can buy. So this is the next part. But like that, so this thing is super important. If you want to go to school, you need the number. If you want to get on a train to the next city, you need the number. If you want to work, you need the number. It's just so important. And if you're rich, you can actually buy this. So if you had a second baby, bad, but if you give us money, it's okay.
How much?
It's $35,000 US. Which in China, this is only for like the richest of the richest of the richest. A normal income for all of China is maybe $6,000 for 1 year. Maybe $10,000 US for 1 year for all of China. This is a normal income. So to pay, I'm very sorry, it's actually ZI. And Mianzi has no translation, and it is the most important part of Chinese culture. It is Chinese culture in so many ways. The translation directly is face, so saying Mianzi is face, and a close translation is roughly pride or dignity. Nothing is more important to a Chinese person than having this face. This is what other people look at you, okay? This can be someone on the street, your mother, your boss, your sister, anybody looking at your face, what they think and what you think they think is beyond important. A very classic example when I first came to China was an old tradition I had many times. My boss wanted to impress me. They take me to a dinner, me and my wife, this huge table. They order, there's maybe 3 of us, 4 people, and they order an entire table of food. 20 different dishes, 25, 30 different dishes of food. This is an incredible Thanksgiving, New Year's style. Eat 1, 2 bites, talk some business. Okay, waiter, come, throw it all away. And this is an example of showing face to me because he thinks that I think, wow, you must be so rich. You came and spent a few $100s on one meal, had 2 bites, and throw it all away in the garbage. Another famous example is maybe iPhones. It's a very luxury symbol. And there's so many more layers to this. It just goes to an insane level. Something that I really love about Mianzi that I think Americans can learn is that the worst thing for my Mianzi is to take your Mianzi. It's not about showing off. This is not only about having a beautiful car or an iPhone. It also has a lot to do with your character, how you behave. And taking someone's face is the worst thing you can do in China. And it's very interesting that 7 years, me and my wife and all my Chinese foreign friends never had one Chinese person be rude to us. Never. Never had a Chinese person be rude to us, especially purposely. Never get angry at us and be rude and try to be mean to us. Now Americans, I can say, some people wake up and they find, oh, I'm going to ruin someone's day. Especially maybe if they're black or if they're fat or if they're rich or poor. Even when I was in school, it was very famous. Does everyone know a convertible car? It was very famous when I was in school. For teenagers and adults, you see someone with a convertible that's open. It's a great place for your Coca-Cola to pour it inside, just to be mean. You see someone with a really nice new car, your key, and just run down the side of it. I don't know why. I did not do it, so you cannot tell my mom or grandma on me. But there's this, in Chinese culture, they do not have this at all. You cannot be rude to someone, and you cannot ever take someone's face. So if Arthur is doing something very, very bad, it would be impossible, almost impossible, for me to say, Arthur, you're bad, you're stupid, you're ugly, stop. Because I would be taking his pride. I would be taking his face. This creates a very scary thing for children, that children are behaving very bad, and everyone just stays quiet. And there's many videos on YouTube of Chinese children doing really, really bad things, like the 2 minute. But everyone, the parents, are too scared to say, Apple, please stop being crazy, stop being bad, stop hitting, because you would be taking their Mianzi. And if I would come and say, listen mom, your baby being crazy, stop, I would be taking the mom's Mianzi, which is the worst thing for me. It's not bad for her. Me screaming at Arthur, me saying, Arthur, you're bad, you're ugly, you're stupid. I'm just making myself look stupid. I'm just making myself look disgusting, like garbage. My family might not talk to me again. Arthur's not the problem, it's me. And I think it has its positives and negatives, but this is Mianzi. In the top you can say, good for your healthy. This is a famous thing that Chinglish people say, Chinese English, bad English. Big joke. There's hundreds of things that Chinese people think is healthy for you and unhealthy for you. But these are 2 of my favorites. The first one is hot water, warm water. And their belief in warm water, fixing all problems is amazing. My wife had a very, very bad rash, like red all over her skin. We went to several different doctors. Every doctor, and we're foreigners, we're white, so they take us to the head doctor. They're like, oh my God, American white people, come. The best doctor, the senior doctor, the top of the top. Okay, because it's very important that we don't die in their hospital. This would look bad, right? So we go to the best of the best. Look at it. You need to go home and drink warm water. Morning, afternoon, night, warm water. It's very famous for men to say to their girlfriend or wife, the girlfriend, oh, you drive me crazy, you're a bad husband, blah, blah, blah. The response, wife, girlfriend, you need to drink warm water. Go drink some warm water. It is an answer to anything and everything. And they really believe, and maybe it's true. When I first came to China was still skinny. They're actually quite fat now. And when I was in China, when I first came, I was the fattest person in maybe all of China. People would stop at me and be, oh my God, so fat! Interestingly, when I left 7 years later, I was one of the skinnier people in China, in my area, which was cute. And the answer, oh my God, you're so fat. How is it possible? Hamburgers? No, I don't like. Coca-Cola? No, I don't drink. Americans drink cold water. Yeah, that's right. Cold coffee, cold water. That's why you're fat. Us Chinese people, warm water every day. So it's just amazing, their love for it. And does anyone have a logical explanation of how it's healing you? It's like you take medicine, the medicine has chemistry in it, it does this, maybe you get better. So Chinese people believe, in line with Qi, that your body is either too wet or too dry. Almost all health problems, cancer, being too fat, tiredness, all problems actually come from your body being too wet or too dry. This is prescribed to anybody's body that is too wet, and you need to take wetness from your body. So you do cupping, it takes the wetness out. Interestingly, I always ask Chinese people why, if I'm too wet, why can't I just go to the bathroom or not drink much water? And they said that it's a different wet, and I never got a better explanation for that. In China, there's no religion. It was killed out a very, very long time ago. Chinese people are not religious, and they do have old Buddhism, like this and the Buddha, but no one actually believes in this. There's just a lot of money involved. It's just cute, it's cultural to go like this. The Buddha helps give you money. Maybe there's superstition, but they're not actually Buddhist, and most people just are not religious at all. There's been a new wave of Christian missionaries coming to China, and missionaries coming from the States and from different countries with Bibles, and the government has been trying very, very hard to stop all of it. If you're a missionary, you can go to jail. If you have Bibles with you, they're burned. Chinese culture, it is so impossible to know what a Chinese person is thinking or how they feel or what emotion. I and lots of Americans are very, very bad at this, that it's very easy to know if this person likes you or doesn't like you. If they're angry or if they're happy, if they're tired, they will clearly say it or show it on their face. A Chinese person is angry, happy, sad, want to die, they like you, they hate you. In Chinese culture, this is just a big important thing to never show too much of yourself. It's very, very clear when you ask questions, what fruit do you like? What animal do you like? Really simple questions. What fruit do you like? Apple. Finish. And this is in Chinese. There's no English problems. They should never show more. Me as an American, I would say, oh, I love apples. They're so yummy. Actually, my grandma would make apple pie. Let me tell you about my grandma. 5 minutes later, in China, it would just be apple. They should not show more. They give me good economy, nice roads, beautiful parks. Everything's okay. In America, we have a very, very different I love Trump, I hate Trump, beep, 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 beep. There's a lot of discussion and talk. In China, you just do not have this. And it's not even that people are scared, they just don't care. I care about my family, I care about my job, the economy is okay, we have beautiful trains and things are better, better, better. I don't care who's president. I don't know anything, I don't vote. It's completely communist in control. They have a small group of people that are in power, and those small people choose who is president. So a few years ago, they got a new president when I was there, and I think it was a room of 200 very powerful people, lots of connections. It's a very complicated however they get there, but it's not normal people, this is for sure. It is not just you saying, I'm going to be mayor! No, it's a very small, powerful group, and they chose from within. And it's only those 200 people. There was no voting, it was not on the news. It was just one day, today, new president. His name is, and he walks out. China was the most corrupt, made Russia look clean, I think. It was the most corrupt thing unimaginable, the amount of corruption you would have just daily. And the new president came, and his campaign is, I'm going to clean corruption, and he really did it for the most part. Anyone that was caught with corruption, on TV you would watch him be killed. So everyone, 6 o'clock at night on the news, here's this very powerful president of this area, he stole millions. We're going to kill him. And everyone, yeah, get him. And it became that everyone became so scared. I was teaching English to lots of business professionals. And they said for business, it was normal. You want business? Give me money. Otherwise, I don't want. He will give me money. After this, everyone got so scared. No, I don't want the money. Please, we'll just do business. It's okay. When I arrived, it was normal to give money to police officers, even to a point that my friend's friend saw a police car on the street with the keys inside. He's American, and he thought, oh boy! And he got in the car, in the police car, drove super fast, lights on, 100 kilometers on the thing, out of the way, beep, beep, beep. The police stopped him, and this is 9 years ago, a different China. And the police get him, and he says, I need to talk to your boss. I'm quiet. They take him to the police station in handcuffs and everything. I only talk to the boss. Where is the boss policeman? Comes in, they speak Chinese, he spoke Chinese. How much money to make this disappear? The boss, $2,000 US. Okay, same day he walked out. Now, you cannot do this anymore. This is impossible to do anymore, but no individualism, everybody aims to be the same. My wife and I would often laugh for Chinese women. There's maybe only 3 or 4 haircuts. And there's no interest in being different. If you go to America, you would very easily see 100 different styles of hair, blue and red and green, and like this today and like this. In China, because of Confucius, so he was a big part that everyone should be the same. There's a famous Chinese proverb that said a lot, that the nail that sticks up should be nailed down. And this really reflects, if everyone has an iPhone, you need to have an iPhone too. If everyone has the hair like this, you want hair like this. An American would say, no, I want blue hair. You have this, I want different. But in China, there's a huge interest to be the same. And it's very nice and very difficult. I was raised by my grandmother who's German, and I probably have the most insane level of guilt ever imaginable, just built into my soul from German culture and American culture coming together. I think about doing something that maybe is bad, I already feel guilty, already. I'm getting quite old, and I think of things that I did in my childhood, which was a little bit bad. I still feel guilty 20 years later. Okay, it's really a big part of our culture, and I have it really built into me. And I was shocked to see that in Chinese culture, they do not have guilt. And I've talked with hundreds, thousands of my Chinese friends over the years. I've read online about it. I even read a book about no guilt in China. And their culture is based off of shame. So someone going like this to you, which oddly they never would, because I would take my mianza if I went like this to you. But the fear that if I do something bad and someone sees me, and maybe they will go like this to me, is enough to scare them to not do anything bad. I have white skin. My eyes are big, especially by Chinese standards. And interestingly, I have a nose bridge. And this here, this bump on my nose is so sexy for Chinese people. Like, God, I would have girls like this just looking at my nose. Maybe not so much, but this is a real interest, Western features, especially white skin. Too many times I needed to buy shaving cream or lotion or shampoo, and the next day I would look and my skin would be really, really white, and my wife would say, "Oh my God, Taylor, you look sick." I'm like, "Oh, I'm okay. And then we have our friend translate. It's like lotion with bleach. Here in the picture actually, this is no big cups. I had my Russian parents come visit us in China, and my wife's sister, and they were shocked. We would go to tea ceremonies, very beautiful, everyone's on the floor with fancy Chinese tea, and the teacups are so small, and all the Russians I know have always been very surprised by this, that the serving sizes are very, very small, and it's very cute actually. And there's one of the big reasons for this is so at night they would go and have barbecue and have meat on sticks, which is very common. And all the men together, women too, would buy one bottle of beer, just like one small bottle. And then everyone sits together and has this small, super small shot glass, the smallest shot for babies, if you could imagine. And they all take just one beer, and that will be maybe for one night for several people. Don Bay, which is cheers, bottoms up. And cheers like this, and do it again, and they would take shots of beer, and that was a crazy night. My wife and I had horrible, sad times when we walk in the park or walk in our garden, and you see the grandmas dancing and the grandpas doing Tai Chi and some Chinese sports, which is too much time to explain, special Chinese sports and exercise. And then you see the younger generation all on their iPhones, and little children eating hamburger, Coca-Cola, scrolling on his iPad. And it was really night and day, this cultural gap. In Chinese parks, it's one of the most popular medicines, which is where you hit your body or go like this. Often hit your butt also. And I don't know if you guys know, it's very common to walk backwards in China, so people will be walking like this, backwards. And you see this all day, every day, all the parks, the sidewalks, grandmas and grandpas walking backwards, hitting their butts, hitting their chest, hitting their arm like this, and walking backwards.
It's only seniors, right?
Yeah, only seniors, and this will die out they will not carry on to the next generation. But 100,000 Russian rubles would be considered an okay, normal, healthy salary for the city, which my wife and I are very surprised, because in Sochi or in Rostov-on-Don, where my wife is from, for daily life we find the price about the same, but then the salary is much less. I do not understand how a Chinese taxi driver makes more money than a normal Russian, but then the bus is about the same price, the food is about the same price, restaurants are about the same price. This is a marriage market. This is in every park, literally every single park, especially on Saturdays and Sundays. It is huge. Here you can see a board. There's normally a permanent board of advertisements. Each advertisement will say something along the lines: male, age, weight, height, job, money. Does he have a house? Does he have a car? Business numbers, just serious things. And here on the umbrellas, this will be a grandma or grandpa probably behind the umbrella, and they will be staying there the whole day advertising their daughter or their grandson or granddaughter, I'm sorry. So the grandma will go to the park, open the umbrella, sit down. Someone comes and looks at this advertisement. Grandma jumps up. Listen, my grandson is so great, beautiful, handsome, tall, rich, has a house. And this is oddly, most of these are actually for girls. If you would go and read, majority of these are actually for girls, not for boys. And the reason why is because of this in Chinese culture. It's called shengnu, and the translation is leftover woman. Does everyone understand the translation, leftover? So the map shows the concentration. In cities, this is a much bigger problem. Traditionally, it was 25 years old. So in Chinese culture, traditionally, and today in countryside, small villages, a woman reaches 25 years old and she passes into garbage. Literally garbage left over outside in the street. She will never marry. She will, especially for grandma and grandpa, she will never give me kids or grandchildren. Just complete garbage. Now in cities, this has changed a little, and now it's the age of 30. So girls in Beijing have some more time, and there's an incredible amount of pressure on women to marry before this age. Especially, you have to remember that in China, family is one of the most important things, and grandma and grandpa are boss. If grandma and grandpa says you need to marry, this is serious. It's like God came down and told you. So this is a very interesting part of Chinese culture, and it's very sad. Lots of women are not very happy about it. They argue, lots and lots of women, and even a famous book and TV show, the women argue that it's leftover men. Lots of these women, they're very educated, they have good jobs, and they're nice women on average. And they say, I cannot find a good enough of a man. I want a man that's also educated, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, has a good job. I don't want better, but I want the same. And that's the woman's argument. Chinese culture does not care, but it will change. I'm certain it will change. A beautiful woman and man by Chinese culture. As I already mentioned, you can notice their skin is super white, very big eyes, probably got surgery. They have 2 eyelids. They get one removed to make their eyes look bigger. And also you'll notice that they have a nose bridge. It's probably from surgery. Very, very little Chinese people have this bridge. They normally have it flat. So they must have got surgery. And a special thing is that the girl, if you look at her jawline, this part, it's very, very sharp, like a V. This is called a something like this, and it means snake face. She looks like a cobra, if everyone knows this snake. And this is considered incredibly sexy. Sadly, most Chinese girls actually have very, very square, like jaws, and there's actually a surgery that they go and they cut this down. And for the man, the translation is something like a milk puppy dog. A baby that is still sucking on the mommy for breast milk. And this is considered very cute. He's like a young puppy, adorable, and this is sexy. You'll also see this in Korea. If you've seen Korean pop stars, they look like this. I really want to share, I will go a little bit fast, I'm sorry. Marriage is expected after a few dates. There's no casual dating in China. So lots of my foreign friends found a very cute Chinese girl, started dating, 2 dates, 3 dates. So when are we going to get married? I need to meet your family. It's now or never. A big part of this is because of Shengnu. The women have little time before they need to get married. So they have no time for, I like him, I don't like him, he likes me 1 year, 2 years. There's no time. It's now or never. Most people, including my high school students, the good students and the bad students, it's true. And for most of our friends have only dated one person, normally from high school or from college. 1 date, 1 boyfriend, 1 kiss, 1 marriage. And this is normal, completely normal.
No sex before?
What?
No sex before?
No, only if they're certain to get married. If they're certain to get married, yes, it can be before, but there's no Tinder, there's no casual.
Divorce is not popular.
It's becoming more popular now. Traditionally, this would be an embarrassment to your family. There's even stories of grandmas and grandpas sleeping in different rooms. They want to divorce, but they'll never tell anyone. It's a secret. And men, sadly, often have, it's called Xiao San. This means little love in Chinese. It's very, very common for men, especially rich men, to have affairs. They have a very young, cute Chinese girl that they see on Saturday nights, or maybe a couple of them, and this is very common. And the last one is you will never hear I love you. There was even a famous thing online about children deciding to say I love you to their mom and dad and video record it secretly. And all the parents said, what the fuck with you? Or what happened? No, this is impossible. You're drunk. I need to take you to a psychologist. I talked to my students. Have you ever heard mom and dad say I love you? No. Grandma to mom? No. Is mom told you I love you? Never heard. Have you told your dad you love him? Never. Not one family. Countless families. Now there is a new trend for young Western families to hug their baby. I love you, baby. But this is from Hollywood movies, not from Chinese culture. This is for birthdays. Two cute traditions. The first one is one long noodle. This would be like a Chinese birthday cake. It is your birthday. Your family makes you one super long noodle, literally 2-3 meters long. And you sit, you start, and you go, and it symbolizes long life. And there's no stopping. This is the funny part. The noodle has to stay in your mouth. It's very important. The second one is a little sad. This is from our older friends, 30, 40, 50 years old. They told us that for their birthdays, when they were children, they would get one egg. China was super poor and had lots of problems 40 years ago. And the story is incredible. I heard the same story again. It's their birthday, 80 years old. Happy birthday, one egg. There's one chicken egg, and then the whole family would share this egg. They would boil it, open it, and then you have grandma, grandpa, uncle, cousin, sister, brother, mom, dad, me, and maybe a friend would all sit around the table and share the one egg. And this was one of the rarest things because they were so poor. Someone asked about problems. This is a very, very famous collection of photos. I would advise. Is a Chinese woman. She married a German and moved to Germany and made a famous book about the difference between Western culture and Chinese culture. Blue is American German culture, maybe Russian too, and red is China. So the first one is problems. I can speak for the Germans. If there is a problem, we talk about it, we fix it, we look at it, okay? Chinese walk around the problem. You would never say, this is bad, you're bad. Even if there's a problem, you destroyed my shirt. Oh, no, look, this thing fixed. And they just completely ignore it. You walk around the problem. So for your neighbors, you would never say anything. They would just walk around the problems. And it's even common, I would be texting or emailing or a phone call. When is my money coming? A real problem. When's the money coming? Yeah, how are you? Money. We need to talk about the money. This is a problem. Yes, my son is getting, blah, blah, blah. It would be very awkward. They were very uncomfortable. And they were showing me that I should stop talking about the problem because I was taking their mianzo. I was taking their face. The next one is groups. The blue is an American party or high school or friends. It's true. Everyone's together. Oh, you're sexy. Come join us. It's very close. China's Confucius. Everyone is together. And as you can see, this is what a party and this is what friendship looks like. I really loved in China that there was no bullying in high school. I talked to my friends that when you were young, were you bullied? A group of kids and then they say, oh, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, we don't like you, you over there. Doesn't exist. Again, because of mianzo. If you say you're ugly, you're taking their face, which ruins my face. So everyone's together, no bullying. The next one is networks. I'm sorry, you probably can't see the lines. In Western culture, we often have Jane is my friend. Maybe I will talk to her about giving me money or helping me in some ways. And maybe Jane would ask her husband, and it would finish this way. In China, you can see the red line, which you call your neighbor that calls his friend, that calls his friend, that calls his friend, that calls his boss, that calls his sister. And it's crazy that thousands of dollars, if you need money, will go through this network. You need no money? No problem. I'll call Andrew. Andrew calls him. He calls her. He calls her. He calls the mom in Beijing who calls the person. And the money comes all the way back to me or the help. It's called guanxi for relationships. And the last one is sunshine. So it's a sunny day. Us Westerners run out to get brown. And they all walk around with umbrellas because they want to stay white. If you look at the pants, the crotch is cut out. And especially when I came to China, all the children would wear this. And we would look and say, oh my God, the baby has the hat, the jacket, the pants, and then no crotch. And the reason why is so when the baby shows a sign or wants to go to the bathroom, you don't have to change. There's no diaper. And surprisingly, by 1 year old, most children are potty trained in China. It's because they just squat down like this. They go to the bathroom and they start learning right away. In America, babies are potty trained at 5 years old. So babies start very, very young. No diaper garbage. Maybe a very smart idea. Why am I not perfect at Chinese? My Chinese is so-so, but I am not perfect because of this. So it's a tonal language. If you look, you have ma, 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 ma. These are 5 different words, and this is for every sound. So if someone's speaking very fast and they say ma, it's confusing. Is that mother, fiber, horse a very bad word or a question? Deliveries very surprised me. This was really special for me. Online shopping is super common in China. Everyone buys everything online. It comes to your door. 2 things you see a lot. 1, all the boxes. On the street, at a table in the school, just mountain of boxes, the deliveries, and these cars, these trucks. And they come to the building, they just stop. When I first came, I said, God, how's this possible? Like, there's this car with all these expensive things inside, the boxes. No person. Same at the school or at a business. You go to a big business, there's a table, 100 boxes of the deliveries. And a person should come, oh, I ordered something, where's my name? And my wife and I thought, God, when we first came, God, be so easy. Yeah, my name's Jason, yeah. And it's completely normal, and it works because there's no crime. There's no safe, like it's completely safe. And when I ask Chinese people, why doesn't anyone just take one? It's so easy to take one. Or just say, oh, I thought it was me. Their response was, why would you steal it? Like, why? I don't understand. This is firecrackers on the left. My wife and I were laughing. We've never seen one so short. In this photo, it's like this. In real life, you get them like this. Okay? And it's just very loud crack. Just a boom, 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 boom. No color. And they do it in the day. So it's like lunchtime and you just hear like, and we thought, God, that's so stupid. You should wait till night. And then you should get one with beautiful colors inside, like Russian New Year's, right? And for Chinese people, they actually believe in this. It's called the Nian monster. When Chinese New Year is coming, this monster, his door opens. And the sound, only the sound of the firecracker scares him back inside. Now, if there's no loud sound, he will come outside and he will eat all the children. So for a Chinese person, lighting this super big firework, no color, just sound, middle of the day, is protecting the children, keeping all the children safe from the Nian monster. So I was very, very stupid with my idea that fireworks should be at night and they should be beautiful in color. And I'm out of... China's famous for the gender imbalance. It's so important and fast for you guys to actually understand that boys and girls are very, very imbalanced. As you can see on the timeline, you have the one-child policy. You can only have one baby. It started here. And you look at actually the boy-to-girl ratio stayed the same, about. And then in 1982, ultrasounds became possible. And they could see and say, you're having a boy or you're having a girl. China wants boys for good reason, sadly, and it caused an explosion in abortions. Because now they could see, I'm going to have a girl, I will have an abortion, try again. I need a boy. My grandma says I need a boy, or else my whole family will be disappointed in me. It led to a huge wave in abortions, even to such a point, I arrived in 7 years ago in my building of rent, my first days in China. And there's police all outside. I'm like, oh, fuck, the police are already for me. And my roommate said, oh, no, it just happened again. What? And we go downstairs, he speaks Chinese, said, oh, yeah, grandpa, our neighbor, his daughter brought a girl home. And he just decided to take the newborn girl and kill it in the toilet, just drown it. There'll be no girls in this family. My daughter needs a boy. This was just 7 years ago. This isn't 30 years old culture. It's still alive today. There's countless stories. I've heard private stories about families killing the girls. And they even did drop-off box. The government decided, we will fix this problem. We will start an orphanage. And we'll start a box, a special building. If you don't want your girl, don't kill it. Just bring it here. We'll have an orphanage the government will take care of. They got so many babies in the first month that they had to shut it down because it was just impossible. They were getting hundreds, thousands of baby girls that no one wanted. The government couldn't do the job. So they closed that program.